I there's a space, right? There's this space where, because I described this to you when we were on co-op, this is how it is in my mind. There's a space where all ideas live. Nothing new or old, only borrowed, those type of shit, right? And then I pull from the interspace and use my body as a channel to give to other people. So when I'm creating a thesis, and then spending years formulating this one substance, and then being able to give it in a 3-hour speech in Starbucks, or whether I'm talking about all of the black people that are doing very well, and I've been looking for the past 5-10 years, and then going forward to see where everything could be. That is me pulling from a space that one is from the space in my mind where all ideas live, and the other is from research of the world and different people that live in the world with us. So I'm looking at the past to translate into the future, and I'm looking to the infinite substance to translate to present. These are two different things, right? And that in itself is it's a spectacular vision. It's sport. Like, to me, that's all I do. That's how I live.
I get what you mean.
I live through those ideas.
I get what you mean. Like,
a creative,
it's someone who just makes things.
Will translate what's already there.
Yeah.
Oh, you want a logo? Okay. Because I can do creative stuff as well. You want a logo? Okay. But when we're talking about ideas, like real ideas, like stuff that nobody's heard of before, that is artistry.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But when you're talking about designing a couple things or making a layout, that's not artistry. That is
that's just the process of creating something.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, let me even go into the tangent of people doing design on clothes, but you're not even thinking about placement. Like, it's cool to have a graphic on the clothes, but placement is also very important.
So would you so would you say being an artist is the process of, through your creativity, telling a message?
Yeah,
that's what it is. That's what you would essentially, like, in a nutshell, that's how you would define it. It's through.
I don't think I should debase it like that, because it's like.
But for you, because
we're talking about an infinite space where all things live, and then you're using your body as a vessel to translate that to the world. That is not exactly. It can be a vision. It can be whatever it is, but it's not. Sometimes there's no real message, maybe, but a lot of the times there is.
There could be no real message.
Like, there's because it's like thinking about life and translating, like, all the great philosophers or Einstein is like is the theory of relativity a message? Or is it a thesis on how things should be?
I feel like I know there's a difference between a message and a thesis, but I see a thesis as a message. I know it's like an idea. A thesis is an idea based upon, like you're saying, pulling from the past and that
infinite space where all things live. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, the thing is, that's so hard to pin that down. It's so hard to pin that or explain that in a way.
Yeah, you're not supposed to. That's artistry. That's the chaos of living. That's the chaos of life. Yeah. Literally, the order from chaos. Or everything. Yeah, exactly. See, all of our podcasts relate. You see, because you need to have the tools to be able to even articulate something like that. If you don't have the tools, if you can't even see, like, if you can't see what I was speaking about. If you can't see the infinite space where all things live and are created, then you won't even understand. I'll just be like speaking crazy, or like you'll probably think I'm fake deep or something. But literally, I close my eyes and I see things that are there. Wait, let me repeat that again. I close my eyes and I see things that are there. And I come back and I translate those ideas into life.
Yeah.
I breathe life into certain ideas. So it's like, but if I didn't have the tools, if I didn't have the articulation to write certain type of articles, to breed like certain types of ideas through my hard-earned research in technology, like coding, art history, world history, sociology, then I wouldn't understand how people translate to others and see where all of these great black people who are running businesses now would go. If I had no bearing, like if my mind didn't have any idea of all of these people who have worked before and how they're even relating to each other on social media and like the networks that they've created, then my mind wouldn't have the foggiest what is happening in this world, in this England. So when I say Black Renaissance or the culture of the 20s, these aren't just things that I'm doing for fun. This is like, I researched the past 10 years. Yeah. I researched the past 10 years. I saw the signs, and I'm seeing the repetition, because at the end of the day, life has a pattern of repetition that if you're looking for it, you'll find it. And sometimes that pattern doesn't end up exactly like you see it, but there's certain things that follow a pattern and it bears fruit. And you only need to look as far as investing in futures to say that this is what happens, because people make bets on the future all the time. Oil futures, gold futures, whatever type of futures you want. And that is what I'm doing. But at the end of the day, what I'm doing is betting on people, not on the nature of an oil rig, or a gold mine, or a salt mine even, or whether the harvest of potatoes are gonna be in abundance this year.
That's the funny thing, like, because, like, I bring like to talk, because when I was watching that Tyler documentary, there was bare things where he was talking about these same sort of concepts.
Okay, wait. Can I just cut you off? Let's bring it to our space here.
Okay, yeah.
When I was talking to you in Starbucks,
yeah,
was there anything that you heard like it before, the way what I was explaining it? No, but it made sense as soon as I said it, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I said it.
It's funny because when I said it, when we had that conversation, this was the funny thing. And because this is what sort of made me believe in that sort of ether, that the muse, that infinite space, is because just like when we was talking about Ortega and how that came and that went, that got pulled out. You know what I mean? That was already, we already pulled that out and we saw that get made. I
love using that as a reference point.
Because
that's the one that relates most.
Until now, it's like we talked about in the last episode, but until that point, when we was talking about, I'd been thinking about these things and ideas and because the whole time I've been trying to make just an idea that I can put everything that I've been doing up until this point or thinking about or have created up until this point into something that I can call, I don't want to say my life's work, but yeah, like something like that which I can truly say is an idea that I've put together in all capacities and brought to life. It's like that, bringing that idea to life, and that conversation that we had about the thesis is kind of put it into words. Like the way you was talking about and explaining it, it made me go, oh, do you know what? Yeah, like that makes that's the words I needed to explain the things I've kind of been thinking about, you know.
And that's basically, because that's everything in a nutshell. because we had this conversation before when other people vex me. It's like I don't know whether I've delivered so much, but there has been fruits that I've bared from the words that I've said.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like I've never seen it. It's just that now I know exactly how it works.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what I care about the most, because...
Well, you know how what works?
How my mind... How I translate ideas.
How your mind works.
How when people say, oh, you're special or you're a genius and stuff, why they would say that. Because to me, that's the weirdest thing that you could say to me, because I'm not... I didn't start out as book smart. I was theory heavy. Like, it wasn't until I read a lot of books or until I not even read a lot of books, I learned a lot of words. I learned what words meant, and then I learned the power of words. Then I learned how to use words, and now I'm here.
Funny, that's another thing I got from you, actually. Every time I see a word now that I'm like, what's that mean? I'll go out of my way to search that up, and I save that. You know what I mean? Like, that's one thing I always try and do. I'll search it up, I'll screenshot it on my phone.
Yeah, fam.
Because it's so important, because...
Meaningful.
It's like, that's what I'm talking about, because I think a large part of why you was able to sort of explain and consolidate the ideas you've sort of come up with and the theories you've gone over is because it's large part because of that vocabulary.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the structure.
And that's why when we had the conversations, it's like, oh yeah, having a thesis. Because that's the funny thing about words, man. It's like, you can hear a word. It's kind of like that thing of like, you say butter a million times, it stops being a word, it's just a sound. Or you say like, even you say the word consolidate a million times, it just becomes a bunch of syllables instead of like, it loses meaning. But if you like actually try to understand that word, the context, where it came from, where it originated from, that changes the whole idea behind vocabulary and the way you use words. And it can actually help solidify the ideas that you do have.
Yeah.
So it's important. So true.
Yeah, like there's literally simple things like that is just like, I think that everyone should have. I didn't make up words. I'm only a 20-something-year-old. Like, I don't, like, words have existed long before, and there will be new words after me. I didn't invent words, but when it comes to certain things that I've, like, brought to existence, I just feel like there's a real space for that. And that's why, like, that's one of my real reasons, like, that I would want to just get back into academia, because... at the end of the day, I need to defend that thesis, and then that can get published, and then it will be mine, like for real, and then that will be cemented in history. So that would be a real thing, right? But so it's
what would you say is your current? Because would you say you have more than just one thesis?
Of course.
Or is it like an overarching thesis? I guess that's what I'm asking. What would you say is your overarching thesis? That you would want to put into a paper or a book? Or
no, there's literally, because before I even told you everything that I said, it was like, this is what my second book is about. That was basically the reason for that conversation. It was like my second book. And those ideas are things that I'm going to actually publish in a book.
Okay, what, the thesis of having a thesis? Or having...
It's called something else.
But
I want to write the book.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Like, I actually want to sell the book. I want to make a living off the words that I speak sometimes. Like, anyways.
I'm just trying to give him a taster, you know?
No. Yeah, like, because, no, it's perfectly fine. Like, but it's literally, it's stuff that I've, 3-4 years of my life, like, literally, you've been there every single year, like me, from looking cruddy to like not having a computer, still studying, all the times that I didn't even have peace to travel to places.
Wait, how long didn't you have a computer for? Like a year?
Yeah, like 18 months, bruv.
Imagine,
and look at the way I'm working right now.
I didn't have mine. The most I've not had mine for 3 months. Oh my God,
Bro, and look at the pace. Look at the pace that I'm working at right now. Look at the pace that I'm working at right now. Imagine if I had a computer 18 months sooner.
So when was this big switch where you was like, like when did it kick in? Would you say?
It kicked in when I was like
this level of. You was like, you know what? I'm not putting my foot on the pedal.
What do you mean?
Well, it's like you said like, now look at the rate I'm on. Would you say this was because of your computer, or was it something else?
No, it's 100% because of my computer, because I needed a computer to do all things, whether it was like doing 3D design or doing architecture. I needed a computer. No matter what, like for me to work at 100% capacity, I need a computer. And even if I've got a phone,
well, because before you was doing the blog, you wasn't putting out this much content. Is what I'm saying. It's like before.
Pardon?
You wasn't putting out.
I had my blog 3 months before.
You got your computer back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
so that's why I asked. Was it because of the computer?
In the month of my having a computer, the work rate tripled. So it's like the computer changed everything. It wasn't that I don't work hard.
Oh no! Of course not. But because there's a difference between working hard, and because this is what I also wanted to talk about as well. It's like it's the zone, isn't it? It's that thing you talk about. It's the zone where it's like you're going just because of the amount of energy you've directed and focused and amassed. It compounds. You know what I mean? So because of that focus, you do more than you could have ever done before. Yeah. Because of that focus. It's like you focus so much. That's why when you see people like, it's like, for example, Tyler's going, yeah, I'm going to produce for like all the biggest artists. Like I'm going to do pop, I'm going to do rap, I'm going to make a film, I'm going to do this. And they're going to do it. And it's going to be, I can imagine Tyler making a great, the same thing with Flylo. Flying Lotus, he's working with some of the biggest directors, animators in Japan. And he's still making like world-class albums and music and working with world-class artists like Anderson Park, etc. And it's that thing when the focus sort of hits. That's what I'm saying. So
yeah, it's
so like when okay, that's a better question. When would you say the zone kicked in?
I always had it, but I've like always neglected it. Sort of like I remember in uni, just like doing work and. Like learning super duper fast and then being like, oh, I've done this amount of work, and then like I just got bored, didn't it? And then because really and
why
truly,
did you get bored?
Because everything ended up being too easy. Let me tell like the whole short story, right? It was me, everything that after I learned the skill, basically, it becomes easy. The thing that I'm doing becomes too easy, and then like I can switch in. Not switch on, but switch into whatever place that I need to do to work as fast as I can. Because what I do is I learn the skill, then I execute as fast as possible. That is the 2 levels that I've got. So, and when the pace is insane, I'm just like, I get so bored. And then that's what took me on to the trajectory of thinking, there's got to be harder stuff out there. So then I started learning economics. Then I started learning psychology. Then I started learning sociology. Then I just started looking at humans different and just like observing even more. Like before, when we were in art school, it was like you watch humans to just see how they walk, so that you can learn anatomy and see how different bodies move in different types of ways. And that's how you used to watch it. But now it's like you watch conversations, and then that helped me with writing scripts. But
would you say that it was that would you say it was that made you move from animation, so to speak, or working?
No, like what happened with animation VFX is like everything got too expensive, and then they wasn't making it. No, they just like what they were trying to make wasn't new. It wasn't innovative. It wasn't like it wasn't me. Like the reason I went in
Hollywood's
there isn't
it's a bit mad, the reason. It's like the Lion King film. It's like It's like, that's cool, but it's not like, it's like even with Toy Story, I watched Toy Story, like, I was not compelled to, I saw the trailer, I was not compelled to watch Toy Story.
I didn't even know it came out, fam.
At all.
What, John Lasseter retired, Johnny Ive has left Apple, like, basically the two places I've wanted to work since by the time I was 25, have, like, the two reasons that I wanted to be there are gone. Like, John Lasseter left Pixar, and Johnny Ive, the designer of the iPhone, basically, has left. So the two people that have made completely new things, and like this is like one of those world-ending things, because I was talking to you this about the other day, and then I'll short tangent now, I'll go back. It's like, do the things in the time that you need to do them, or else that moment is too fleeting and it will go away. And if I'd maybe stayed the course, if I decided that I wasn't gonna, because even right now I get bored of writing. We're able to do a podcast because I can execute this type of work extremely fast, and you can put this out extremely fast. And then it's like, because it will be 2 hours or 3 hours after this conversation, and then everything will be ready. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, what else do I do? Okay, I'll make 3 blogs. Okay, what else do I do? Okay, I'll make bare images for that blog. Okay, what else do I do? And then now I'm 3 months ahead, and then now I have to like start giving myself challenges. And that's where Prime Night came from, because it's like, I've got 41 blogs that I'm actually executing from August 22nd or something like that. And 41's a prime number. Prime, not your typical mash that together. And now now I've made it a thing, and like now I'm branding it, and it's only because like this work is gonna be able to get done before the week's end. Mm-hmm. And that's just my level. Like, and the thing is, here's the answer to your question, which was where I switched on, was like, I had to realize within myself that I was gonna get bored, because there was a certain level of economics where I was just like, dude, this is boring, fam. My parents were my parents were literally looking at me talking about these things, and like they were asking me why don't I go to school to learn this economics or like psychology and all of this stuff, and I was like, it's not really the point.
It's not.
It wasn't the point. And then
so weird.
And that's the extent to which I studied it, like privately. Like the books are there, the notes even are just like under your arm. It's like the point of me is to create, basically. I know I can be mergers and acquisitions, but that's not me. The point is to work to the best of my ability. And one of those fun things is like, writing articles on a website isn't gonna make me money precisely. It's not. That isn't the point. Like, making money from the website is not the point. Mm-hmm. So I don't plan to do that. It's the actual execution of solid ideas at a high level that is the point.
That's it, really, isn't it?
It's only the execution of high level ideas, high value ideas that people are gonna be able to look back on, because at the end of the day, in the past 6 months, there's not, I don't know, a 26-year-old below out there, or 30-year-old below out there that has executed to that level out of everybody that I know. Let me just say,
personally,
personally, like I don't know anyone that's done as much work as I've done. I don't know anyone that works in front, that works ahead of time. I still don't know yet. And this isn't even me bragging on Boston. This is me like, this was a hurt on my inside. It was like, I was so upset that nobody was like me, or no one could even relate to what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But then it's like, these are the cards that I've been dealt, sort of thing.
Yeah, you got to roll with it.
So it's like, okay, let me just execute this hard, or else, because I'm gonna get bored, and then it's like.
But what's so good about it? That's the funny thing, though. But what's so good about doing that, and like just focusing on bringing ideas to life?
Pardon?
What's so good about just focusing on bringing ideas to life?
I thought that was a question.
No. Yeah. What's so good about it is, no matter what you do, it doesn't. The medium doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The medium no longer
Literally.
matters. And with every single person who I respect creatively, like, or artistically, I should say.
Yeah.
That is the core. That's basically at the center what it is. There's a part of them. It's almost like they're trying to put something together.
Yeah,
they're trying to piece the puzzle together.
Yeah, remember,
and they're trying to overcome the ability to put that puzzle. Not even overcome the ability to put that puzzle together, but it's the process of putting that puzzle together, which is, it's the thing.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people just have the codes that you want, and from the beginning, like
There's a really nice one. Sorry.
Yeah, there's.
Is that what is
it's behind you on the ground. Oh, it's the infuser.
Okay.
With Tyler, he was, his message or his code in all of his music is like, be exceptional, be yourself, be exceptionally yourself. And I heard that message from the beginning. And there are some utterances of him saying stuff like that from the beginning of, like, from his first tape, Bastard, like, and he has just been saying that, and it's only like when he's 25 now, or wait, he's 28 now, that he's able to like say it directly or say it in a way that's
he's
just
able
like
to articulate.
Yeah, and with me, like, that was a funny thing. It's like I have only been able to articulate a small amount. Like, I feel like it's only 20% that I'm hitting.
I don't even think about that yet. But I feel like I feel like it's so weird. I feel like a blind man who's like visions, like you can just see light. That's how I feel right now. Like, it's so weird. Because I think the thing that's sort of come together for me right now is this idea that I've been developing, and literally, bro, it's started to have a life of its own. That's how I know it's the embodiment of the energy and the essence that I
I know. What you're doing
exhibit.
is breathing life into an idea.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
Exactly.
Like, that is everything that I know you've wanted to do.
Yeah.
And every conversation we've had since for the past 3 years or so has been an attraction towards that. It's like an attraction towards understanding how you can breathe life into an idea, because this isn't the first idea that you've wanted to breathe life into. It's just the one that's engaging you right now.
It is. But you know, but that's the thing. All the other ideas that I've had, the last time I feel like I've had like a sort of 10-year gap.
What do you mean?
In my when I first picked up drawing, I was 7 years old.
Okay.
And that was when so great. This sits in my mind from the beginning of time. I remember me and Shahir, we used to sit next to each other in school. I was like 7 years old, and we had these art books. We were mad Dragon Ball Z guys. You know, it's like 7 years old. Same. That is your jam, bro. You're watching that at every chance. That was when you had Sky. Like, what? Yeah. We're in the UK, in so it's like box, you don't get it. You get it like on Cartoon Network at like 6 o'clock. Yeah. You know what I mean? Once, like, that's it. You know what I mean? One episode.
No reload.
So you're like
+1.
And what we used to do is I remember when we first got these new art books, we was like, let's draw some Dragon Ball Z characters. I can't even remember how the conversation started, but we've both drawn and made up our own like Dragon Ball Z characters on the front. And from that point, I was like, that was drawing for me. I was like, I remember the time I was like, I'm gonna do. I remember saying to myself at 7 years old, I remember saying this in my mind. I was like, I'm gonna do this more. I literally said it almost. I'm sure to a key like that. I'm gonna do this more. I remember thinking that, and it's so funny because as time evolved, I started making comics, little stickman comics, and telling stories and doing all these things. And I started, as I got better at drawing, I started actually fleshing out full-on stories and scenes and that I just made up. I didn't like, after I started, like, I would copy loads of Goku and Majin Buu, but after that, I stopped really.
Yeah.
I stopped copying. I was just like, nah, I need to make my own. I started, my brain was going wild, yeah? I had all these little mini stories of, like power systems and structures for, like, societies and stuff like that. And that was all through up until about year 9, year 10, and then I started partying and stuff like that. And I'll do it here and there. I'll have like little ideas. I was still drawing all the way up until college. And I remember, I think Ortega was the last time